You know what time of year it is. It is college football preview magazine season, and I just got my hands on not one, but two copies by both Athlon and Lindy's. So in today's video, we're going to react to both of them, what they're saying about Nebraska before this season, their hot takes about the Huskers, what they're saying about our record in 2025, what they're saying about Dylan Raiola, Matt Rule, our opponents, the rest of the Big Ten, and so much more. I am fired up to see what they have to say. If you are too, hit that like button. And really quick, if you're a diehard Nebraska fan and you're not subscribed, now is the time. Join this family of over 10,000 strong. We post daily content. We talk about everything regarding this team. So please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get into it. I love June because when June comes around, the college football preview magazines come around as well. Athlon and Lindy's, they get things started, and then Phil Steele usually releases by the end of the month. So I recently went to my local Barnes & Noble and got my hands on both copies. Let's just get things started with the Lindy's first, which they have a lot to say about Nebraska. Athlon has some hot takes. You're going to want to stick around to see what they have to say as well. But Lindy's, right off the bat, you can see Dylan Raiola on that cover wearing the all-white. We need to bring that all-white uniform back this year. I know we lost wearing it, but I don't care. It looks clean. That's a really nice photo. So let's just get things started. So right off the bat, talking about the Big Ten, I want to show you what they have to say. They think that Nebraska will be the sixth best team in the Big Ten. They have Penn State number 1, Ohio State number 2, Oregon number 3. You know, I've seen a lot of rankings, and this is pretty similar to all of the rest of them. I've seen Nebraska as high as 5. I've seen pretty much Nebraska as low as 7. It's right around that 5 to 7 range. So this is pretty consistent. They say that the good news for the Huskers is that we added much needed speed and athleticism around Dylan Raiola. I agree. We added a lot of athleticism. We added a lot of production in Dane, Nyziah, Hunter. Maybe not speed. I don't think Dane, Nyziah, they're not the speediest guys in the world, and that's not a bad thing, but they're very productive. So I agree with the analysis. The bad news, according to them, is that we lose defensive coordinator Tony White to Florida State. That can show up in a negative way. I understand their concern, but personally, I'm not too worried about it, given the fact that wherever Matt Rule's been, he's had different defensive coordinators at every stop. Temple, Baylor, Nebraska, and these defenses always been successful. That's his bread and butter. Okay, so wherever he's going to go, it's going to be good. I think our defense is going to be just fine. And then think that really the season's going to come down to John Butler and how he pans out. That's going to be critical for Nebraska. So I don't necessarily agree with that as that being the thing that really determines our season. I'm more so looking at the offense. I think Dana Holgerson's adjustment to Nebraska, Dylan Raioala's progression, that's going to determine how good we are. But overall, pretty decent analysis. They think Nebraska 6th in the Big Ten. Then I want to show you guys this. So this was Lindy's all Big Ten team. You have the first team, second team, third team. Nebraska, they do not have anybody on the first team. They do not have anybody on the second team. And they only have one player on the third team. And that is Mr. Jacory Barney right here at the all-purpose slot. So again, that's interesting. That kind of wakes up a lot of Nebraska fans. We're feeling very good about this season. Obviously, this put us at number 6, but that tells me that Lindy's necessarily, they don't think we're the most talented team in the world. They don't think we have a bunch of top-end talent. They might think we're very deep, but they don't think we have a bunch of first-round NFL draft picks, second-round NFL draft picks. They think that we're probably a very well-coached team with a lot of depth, with a lot of young players who are ready to break out, but just not a lot of top-end talent right now. So that kind of a little bit of a wake-up call for a lot of Nebraska fans right there. Now, there are some errors here. I truly believe that Dylan Raiola is better than Julian Sain, who they have right here at number 3 as that quarterback spot. I think that, honestly, Dane Key should be on this list here over a guy like Denzel Boston for Washington. I think Dane Key should be on there. I think even Asia Wright should be on there. So there are some things that I would change if I were doing this, but kind of a wake-up call a little bit. And then they say a couple other things here, Nebraska not mentioned in these superlatives. All right, let's see what they have to say specifically about Nebraska. Now, I'll let you guys pause the video if you want. We'll start off on the left-hand side. I won't read all of it out, but I think it's funny here. They start off with this first column, and they're quoting Dana Holgerson when he got to Nebraska. He said, "Why are we not blocking worth the crap on the perimeter? It's embarrassing." That was my favorite clip from Dana Holgerson. He's very honest, but hopefully we can see that improve this year. Obviously, in the running game, the wide receivers did not block at all last year. Hoping Dane Key can change that. Hoping Isaiah Hunter can change that. Hoping Jacory Barney can continue to develop. So you see here on the left-hand side, I think the strengths on our team is the wide receiver core with all the transfers we brought in. They think that we have a lot of athleticism on defense, which says a lot. They say that there's a couple problems. Let's read what they have to say. They say much of the Huskers' defensive front seven is inexperienced. Interesting. That's okay. So I don't necessarily agree with the front seven. Maybe the defensive line, like a Williams Winery, an Elijah Judy, a Riley Van Poppel. Like, yes, the defensive line might be inexperienced, but when you look at the linebacker core, you have Deshaun McCullough, who's played in the Big Ten before with Indiana. You have Marcus Watson-Trent. While, yes, he has not played in the Big Ten before, he was the Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year. You have Vincent Shavers, who's phenomenal last year. So I don't necessarily agree with the front seven, but you can make that argument for the D-line. So, okay, that's whatever. A couple other things here. They think of special teams. Let's read what they say about special teams. They say Nebraska found new ways to invent special teams trouble last year, having several punts blocked, including one in the Pinstripe Bowl. Oh, I forgot about that one, man. Mike Eckler trying to clean things up. Yep, we brought in a couple guys. So overall, they say that when Matt Rhule hit year 3 at Temple and Baylor, his teams played in conference championship games. Let's not get carried away, but the schedule has 5 Big Ten home games and upward trajectory of the program is noticeable. This team should be better in a warmer bowl game for these long-suffered fans, but in the Big Ten, nothing is easy. So they're not going crazy with their prediction. They're not saying that we're going to win 9-10 games, but that's usually what these preview magazines do. They don't want to get your hopes up too much. They say most valuable players, Dylan Raiola, emerging stars, Vincent Shavers, top newcomer, Dane. I agree. And then over here on the right-hand side, let's just take a look here. I mean, to just have, okay, let's look at the 3 big questions. They say, can Nebraska find an extra red zone gear? I agree with you. That was one of our biggest problems with Marcus Satterfield. Even, with Dana Holgorsen, we couldn't score in the red zone. And when we finally, even had a field goal opportunity, we'd miss it. So that's something we absolutely need to improve. Will the defensive line rebuild? Completely agree. I agree with those 2 questions. And then number 3, can Mike Eckler help the special teams out? Yes. Can Mike Eckler help the special teams stay out of its own way? So I agree. Those are pretty 3 valid questions I also am concerned about. The scouting report. Let's see what they have to say about the scouting report here really quick. They say this program hasn't been relevant in 2 decades. Well, that's a little disrespectful there. If the Huskers can't make the jump up this year with their hotshot quarterback, it may never happen. They finally brought in a legit weapon for Dylan Raiola to target Dane. They stole him from Kentucky. That's going to help, no doubt. Still, I don't see the overall firepower where they'll be able to keep up with the powerhouses. It feels like Ohio State and Penn State are light years ahead. Usually by year 3, Matt Rhule programs take a leap. Again, they're getting there. You don't quite fear Raiola yet, and he could get antsy at times, but they could get off to a fast start of the season and get rolling. So that was, I think actually they had a coach write that from an opposing Big Ten school. Again, they don't want to hype us up too much a little bit. And they were very critical. They said that we're not on the same playing field as Penn State or Ohio State. Yeah, no crap. But we're not trying to be on the same playing field as those guys. We're just trying to be us. We're trying to be the 5th best team in the Big Ten, 6th best team in the Big Ten. And that's good enough to win 8-9 games. That's good enough to potentially win 10 games. So no one's thinking that we're going to compete with Ohio State. That's not the expectation. The expectation is to make a huge jump, win the games you're supposed to win, probably lose to Penn State, maybe lose to Michigan. But if you can win all the rest and win 10 games and potentially be on the outside looking in for the college football playoff, that's a huge year, and that's definitely doable. So overall, that's what they have to say about Nebraska. A couple other things I want to show you. They have us listed as the 24th best team in America according to their rankings. So again, they say very similar things here, what they said before. Return to national relevance. Dylan Raiola supposed to take that big jump. They had too many negative plays last season and struggled in short yardage. Tony White's gone. That's a couple bad news. And they say, our call. The schedule includes 5 Big Ten home games. And if they can stay healthy, the Huskers become one of the surprise teams at the end of the year. Okay. All right. So that's what they say about Nebraska. We'll take a quick look here at the other schools. Where's Iowa? Iowa's at 33. Indiana's at 31. Who's the worst team in America? Kent State. Oh, yeah. Kent State is terrible. Where's Akron? I want to see where Akron's at. Oh, Akron's at 121. They have them as one of the worst teams in America. All right. And then they have us as the 22nd best team when it comes to our recruiting rankings. I'll let you look at that real quick. Obviously, we talk about that all the time on the channel. So, and then last but not least, when it comes to Lindy's, they had Dylan Raiola, I believe, as the 21st best quarterback in America. I think he honestly should be a little bit higher. Julian Sands should not be ahead of him. Devin Dampier should not be ahead of him. Fernando Mendoza, that's valid. Sawyer Robinson's overrated. Kevin Jennings, really? I don't know. Anyways, that's their quarterback ranks. They thinks he's the 21st best quarterback in America. All right, let's get to Athlon, because they also had some hot takes to say about Nebraska. Now, this was for a long time my preferred magazine of choice before I got really into Phil Steele. So let's just see what they have to say. So they think that this is a breakout player section, and they had Dylan Raiola as the first guy they talked about. They think that Dylan Raiola is going to break out completely in 2025. Head coach Matt Rhule used the offseason to fortify the pieces around Raiola and hired Dana Holgerson as a full-time play caller. So they didn't really go in detail. It feels like they never do, but just know, breakout player, first guy they mentioned, Dylan Raiola. Then, bowl projections. They have Nebraska. Gosh, I was looking at this earlier. Now I lost it. Here we go. They have Nebraska. I believe it's in the LA Bowl against Arizona State, wherever you can find it. I'm struggling. Here it is. Las Vegas Bowl against Arizona State. So I'm assuming that's at 8-9 wins. I'm assuming probably eight wins is what they're expecting from Nebraska because of that. Then overall, what they say about the Huskers here, they think, let's see. I'll let you guys just stop the video if you really want to read this, but I want to read this. They say, so this is by opposing Big Ten assistant coach. They say, expectations are building here, but I think this group can meet them. Putting Dana Holgerson in as offensive coordinator is a great move by Matt Rhule, and he'll create a lot of advantages for Dylan Raiola in that offense. The defensive coordinator change doesn't really affect what they do schematically. They still are going to be running a 3-3 base. They need a big play receiver to step up. Otherwise, I think they're more talented on paper than the Nebraska roster has been in years. The expectations that they can finally break out and finally compete among the top level in the league. That might not happen, but I think it's realistic to expect a better bowl destination and more wins, and Dylan to get more national spotlight. Matt Rhule knows how to do this, and they're headed in the right direction. So overall, again, like not crazy Kool-Aid, right? They're not sitting here saying that Nebraska's going to make the cultural playoff, but I think the expectations are pretty positive. They think the roster is better. They think that we're going to, potentially be on the outside looking in with a 9-win team, 10-win team, go to a pretty decent bowl game. So I'll take that. I will say, though, in the modern day college football, making a better bowl game doesn't excite me. Going to a Pop-Tarts Bowl doesn't excite me. Like, it's college football playoff or bust, to be honest with you. Like, that's just my mindset nowadays with this expanded playoff. Overall, let's look at the final analysis. Nebraska took an important step last season, ending the 7-year bowl drought. Year 3 was an important benchmark and rule stop at Temple and Baylor. With veterans at key spots and important additions from the transfer portal, Nebraska can improve on its progress. Okay, come on, Athlon, give us some hot takes here. Give us some hot takes. They might say some over here. I don't want to read the entire thing. I'll let you guys stop the video if you really want. Looking at the depth chart real quick, let's see if it's correct. Turner Corcoran at left guard's definitely probably not going to be right. They're going to probably put Henry Lateef there. They don't even have Henry Lateef listed at all in the 3 deep. What are we doing here, Athlon? Get your stuff together here, Athlon. Where's Henry Lateef? Other than that, defense looks pretty good. They have Donovan Jones starting at corner along Sierra right. A hot take. That's probably going to be Andrew Marshall. And then they have Jack McAllister. Jack McAllister is no longer here. So overall, that's what they have to say. I also want to show you this. So they basically rank up. I always think this is pretty cool. They rank where our units stand, rest of the Big Ten. So they think we have the 5th best quarterback room. Valid. They think we have the 13th best running back room. I think that's honestly too high. Like I am low on this running back room. You guys already know that. 7th best wide receivers. I think we should be higher than that. Offensive line 8, not bad. Defensive line 8, not bad. Linebackers 10. I think it's better than that. DBs 11. I think it's better than that. So again, they're not crazy bullish on us, but that's cool. And the last thing I just kind of want to show you. Feel free to read this if you want, but this is about Cincinnati, 53rd best team in America according to them. Just feel free to read this if you want. They say the top newcomer is Joe Kahn, who's a big-time transfer. So if you guys want to read up on Cincinnati to show you, I want to just show you this to learn some more about their team because we have a big game against them this year. Really quick, I actually want to see Lindy's, their depth chart because I did not see that. Let's see if their depth chart was accurate. Jacory, Luke Lindenmeyer. Oh, this is really good. This is really accurate. Okay, defense. Yeah. Okay. Dude, they might have watched my video because I think they have the exact same depth chart as I do. Shout out to Lindy's. Nah, I'm just kidding. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they did. You never know. You never know, man. You never know. All right, guys. That is it. Reacting to both Lindy's and Athlon. I'll do one about Phil Steele when that comes out in probably a month's time. So let me know your thoughts down below. Just about everything. I want to hear what you have to say. Hey, if you made this fun of the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go ahead and go Matt Roll, and I'll see you in the next one.